a big nerd who loves fantasy books, as you can probably see, video games, and Dungeons and Dragons, and I've never made a video on D&D before until today. I thought, why not? Let's talk about it. I've been playing D&D for the past couple of years now. We had a campaign, me and my friends, and the DM got a little bit busy, you know, life gets in the way, that's understandable. So we haven't played that campaign for about a year, and it got to a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, I'm a creative guy. I read fantasy books. I mean, on my desk right now, Fool's Errand by Robin Hobb, absolutely love it. You can see Brandon Sanderson in the background. I love big epic fantasy journeys, and I run a wrestling show on my main channel, Regents Kid, where, you know, it's all creative storytelling, stuff like that. I was like, I can run a D&D campaign. I can be a dungeon master. You know, I watch Critical Role, I watch Brennan Lee Mulligan and stuff like that. I can be a good DM, and I told the players, hey, would you guys be interested? And they said yes, and now we're on session 5. They're loving it, I'm loving it, even more than being a player. So I thought I'd talk to you guys about my process and the tools that I use. It is a virtual tabletop. We don't play in person. I mean, we have people in America, Poland, we have people all over in our campaign, so it will be a bit difficult to meet up in real life, let alone meet up online. But I found my system to be really good, really useful, and I enjoy it. I watch a lot of D&D videos now on YouTube, so I thought, let me join the fold. Let me get involved and show you guys the tools I use to run my virtual tabletop sessions for Dungeons and Dragons. First and foremost, the things I keep on my desk in real life. I have the D&D Player's Handbook. This is the older one, the 2014 Player's Handbook, because I prefer this one, and also I didn't want to buy another one. So I have this on my desk just in case, you know, mid-session I need to check a rule or something. I can peruse through the book. I also, on my right, have a set of dice. As the Dungeon Master, I don't need to roll in-game. I don't need to roll on our virtual tabletop. I prefer to do my rolls in private, in secret. On my desk, you know, my mic picks it up and I roll a bunch of dice, and the players hear it and they get nervous, or it's very, very fun, you know, being secretive. It also means I get to use these dice because I've never played D&D in real life before, because growing up I had no friends that wanted to play D&D with me. So that's why. But now I have these dice and I can actually use them, and they're really cool, colorful, and fun. So that's the personal stuff I use on my desk. We use Discord for our voice chats while we are, you know, playing the game, exploring dungeons and killing goblins. And then everything else is online. Now, I think first and foremost, the main thing to start with is which virtual tabletop do we use, and I've been using Owlbear Rodeo. Now, I never heard of this before up until a year ago when our old DM, who is a player in my current campaign, told us about Owlbear Rodeo. We tried D&D Beyond, but a lot of it, you know, you need to pay for a lot of D&D Beyond. We tried Roll20, but again, a lot of stuff is locked behind paywalls, whereas Owlbear Rodeo is free for everyone, the Dungeon Master and the players. You can also play on mobile if you like as well. It's so easy. It's so simple. There's not a bunch of coding you need to learn or anything like that. You can jump straight in and have a classic D&D adventure. So, for example, this is our world map. This is the map of Alaris, the whole world map that we have here. The campaign actually takes place on this little island down here. The PCs started in Dawnreach, and they've still not left Dawnreach just yet, but they are on this little island called Faerindel. And the beautiful thing about this map, which I really like, is in future, we might do another campaign where we're up here in the Red Mountain, completely on the opposite side of the world, and over years, maybe the, you know, old characters meet the new characters and stuff like that. I wanted a big, massive map, but I wanted to start on a small island so they don't have the full scope. You know, we're not going to be traveling up here in this campaign. We're mainly probably going to stay on this one island for the entire first campaign, and then in future, we'll have different characters around the world, and it'll be really, really awesome. But what I love about Owlbear Rodeo is it's so simple to use. Extensions are really, really handy. For example, for journaling, you have an open journal for note keeping and stuff like that. I just hid a bunch of stuff because, you know, I don't want to spoil anything. But as you can see, you can just see in our recent encounter, if I can actually take you down there. So at the bottom here, you can see all of the scenes that I have. So I have different cities. So for example, Skywatch is a city over here. The PCs may be going to in future. Firsthold is up here. Ashen Glade is somewhere they've been. The Arcane Order. I have them all set up to taverns, towns, dungeons, and stuff like that. So right now, the players are underneath Dawnreach, underneath the main city in a dungeon. And as you can see, one of the PCs, Thorn, he recently got met by a mimic, and his hand is currently trapped. And so he wrote in the journal, second chest, bit me the bastard, because you got bit by the chest, just so we remember, because we had to cut off at the end of this encounter. But it's that easy. So for example, if the players want to see the world map, I drag the world map on and you can see the world map. And then as I'm explaining, oh, now you're entering the dungeon underneath Dawnreach, you can go into that scene and now boom, they can now see the scene. Fun fact, when they first came into this room, everything else was all fogged up. With Owlbear, you can actually fog the entire map, which I think is absolutely amazing. And then the PCs only see what you want them to see. It's little, I mean, I'm not going to do a full Owlbear tutorial, but Owlbear Rodeo is absolutely amazing. And another thing I really like is the GM's Grimoire, which is for keeping track of your combat. So for example, Jorvath is currently on 11 HP. You can see their AC and their initiative. Thorn is currently on 3 HP, very, very close. And then, for example, let's say this is a Mimic. So what I do is I open the stat block popover and I have all their stuff here. So for example, when it's the Mimic's turn, I have all of the Mimic's actions, specials, skills, general stuff all right here. And for example, it's so simple. If I wanted to add in another character, I go to Asset Manager, I go to characters, and I have all of these tokens that I've put in myself. So I have all these different, I have aberrations, angels, bandits. Let's say I want to put in a dragon, an adult green dragon. I drag the token in and boom, there's now an adult green dragon in the room. I click add to Grimoire and instantly he has his own stat block right there. You can even remove the stat block and you can assign another one. So you can search for whatever you want. Adult dragon, green dragon, bomb. Right there, you can choose the 14 or 24 rule set and instantly they have their own stat block in the GM's Grimoire. Right here, you can see Lawful Evil, Huge Dragon. You can see the health, the general, the AC, skills, actions, legendaries. You see everything right there. It's so nice. And you can actually make your custom stat blocks, which I'm going to show you later, and add that into Owlbear Rodeo. Again, I don't want to make this whole video about just Owlbear Rodeo, but Owlbear Rodeo for me was the easiest to use, just the best looking and feeling virtual tabletop. I know people like Foundry, which I've not used before. Apparently that's a good one, but let me know in the comments down below what virtual tabletop you use if you do play online. I just love Owlbear Rodeo. There's music, there's initiative, there's measuring, there's fog, and I love it. I really do. One of the developers actually responded to one of my comments on Reddit the other day. So if you're watching this, shout out you. I love Owlbear Rodeo with all my heart. This is the virtual tabletop I will be staying on. Like I said, it is free, but you can pay if you run out of storage. I paid, I think it's like $3.99. Free tier list, which you have 200 megabytes of storage. I started with a free tier list, but then because I have so many tokens, let me show you. I like to be prepared, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to show you where I get these tokens from too, but I like to be prepared. So again, I have all my tokens downloaded. Furbolg, I have a few in there. Then if we go to Drow Dark Elves, I have a few in there. Dwarves, I have a few with Dwerger in there as well. Fae, we have some all in their own little stuff. Mages, if you want some mages, oh, I've got mage tokens, all right, ladies and gentlemen, of, you know, humans, half-elves, dragonborn, Loxodon, if you want a big elephant boy, cultist, if you want a cult. I have my tokens, okay? So the free, you only get 200 MB of storage, and I was like, well, $3.33 a month, it's on sale right now. You can get 5 gigabytes worth of storage, ladies and gentlemen. And again, let me just show you. All of those tokens I just showed you is only 478 MB out of 5 gigabyte. I've not even used a gig yet, and that's including maps as well, scenes as well, and everything like that. It's so good. You get so much just for £3 a month. You can even split that up amongst your party, and it'll be like £1 each, or maybe even less than £1 each if you have more than that. It's so incredible. And again, I have attachments as well. So for example, this guy, you can see if I set it to default, he's currently grappled. So I have all these little tokens down here for prone, frightened, poison. So let's say, you know, Jorvath is frightened. I drag that on, and now everyone can see that he's frightened. Or if someone goes prone, you drag that on, you can see that they're prone. It's so easy to use. There's mounts and characters and props and all sorts. Again, you know, you can use like a fire line. You can drag that in to show where fire is and stuff like that. I love Owlbear. I could talk about Owlbear Rodeo for hours. I might make a whole video on it, to be honest. I've been talking about it for 10 minutes, but this is the virtual tabletop I use. I didn't expect to talk about it for so long, but I love Owlbear Rodeo, and we'll move on for now. Now, a big thing about D&D is keeping notes, especially as a dungeon master. Players can take notes, you know, normally in books or something like that. I get very, you know, I like to be very prepared. I like taking notes. I like remembering stuff. to bring it up later for my players. And originally on my PC, I had like 50 sticky notes. I had a sticky note for every single player character, for every single main NPC, for every single city, for all the lore. I had sticky notes all over my screens. I have 3 monitors, so I had to look and find each sticky note, and it was really, really confusing. I looked into some note-taking apps, and I saw Obsidian, which looked really, really awesome, like the webbing and all stuff. I was like, it looks awesome. I went into it, and it was very code-based, and I was like, I'm too dumb for this. I don't like it. So I gave up on Obsidian, and I went to Notion. Now, Notion is amazing. Like, I love taking notes. I like colors and pictures. Notion is amazing. Now, this is the template that I used. You can see over here on the left, it says the fracture of the weave. This is my actual thing here, but I'm not going to show that because I don't want to spoil you. Just in case my players watch, I don't want to spoil you any of the actual quest or players or anything like that. So this is the template I used. As you can see, it's the same layout and stuff. So it's so good. What you do in Notion, and there's an app as well. You can use on the web browser or an app. I use the app. You can go down to Marketplace, and you can literally type in like Dungeon Master or D&D, and it comes up with a bunch of templates that you can use, and you literally just click add, and it comes over here. It's so good. And then you have stuff like this. So for example, session notes, I click on that and I have all my session notes. You can type in, you know, what's happening, the session number and stuff like that. You can click on quest and you can see all of your quests. So you can see if they've completed it, if it's a main quest or a side quest, the notes about it, if it's high, important, mid, or low, and you can even check where it is. So this is in Hellhide, for example, and you know it's there. You can click open and you can actually write notes. So like, this is a quest, blah, 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 and you write about what that quest is. You can also have tabs as well, so I can open that up as a separate tab. I can open it full screen if I like as well. And then you go back, you have players' backstories, so you can write all your PC's backstories, different places that you have. And again, you can open up all of these as well in new tabs, which I find absolutely amazing. On the app, there's a tab bar at the top, which you can open up a bunch of stuff. You have all of your people. And again, if you've met them, not met them, if they're your suspicious allies, enemies, it's just a very easy to use and navigate note-taking page. That's all Notion is for taking notes, but it's so handy. There's also a DM screen on this template with all of this. So for example, someone got frightened the other day, so I come in here and I see frightened and I see the information on what frightened is. Again, instead of going into my player's handbook, it's all right here for me. There's languages that people can talk, there's mounts and other animals, how much they cost, cover, and how that works. Everything you need is right here. You have all your players. Obviously, I change it so it's actually my player tokens there and stuff. Notion is amazing. Notion is beautiful. I love it. It's been so handy having Notion instead of a bunch of sticky notes. Having Notion as an app as well, it's beautiful. I love it. There is a lot of AI in Notion, which I've heard people don't like. I've like not been forced to use any AI. Apparently people are like, oh, Notion really forces you into AI. I mean, I've seen like a pop-up at the beginning, but since then I've not had any AI pop-ups. I just you know, write my own stuff and it all works fine for me. So I love Notion. It works well with Owlbear. Having it on the side for any information I need, it's so nice. And you can link stuff as well. So in your you know, sessions, you can add the quest. And then you click on that and it opens up the quest in a new tab. It's so easy to use. And Notion, hey, I love it. If you're out there watching, you know, shout out Notion, man. Very good. The two main ones. Up next, we have the map making portion, ladies and gentlemen. Now, there are so many websites out there and tools out there to make maps. I have a lot of maps myself. I've made some, I've downloaded some, I've used some, I've altered some. Inkarnate is one that I really like. Inkarnate is amazing. You can create your own maps. There is a paid version and a free version. I might actually get the paid version to make bigger maps because it looks very cool. Does Inkarnate. And there's a lot of different map makers out there. Let me know your favorite because there might be some that I don't know about. But it's so easy to use and make your own map. It looks really awesome. But the main thing I like about Inkarnate is the Explore tab. I've used a lot of these maps in my sessions so far, and it's just so nice. For example, you can sort it by, let's say, fantasy battle maps, and if you need a battle across a bridge, this looks beautiful. You save the image and you can plug it right into Owlbear or other tabletop virtual tabletops. There's people are so creative. They really are. Shout out to the people that create on Inkarnate, because these maps and battle maps, there's battle maps, there's also world maps as well, which just look absolutely beautiful if you want a world map. And again, you can make these yourself if you want as well. It's just, I love Inkarnate. I think it's absolutely amazing. I'm not at the point yet where I'm good at making maps like this, but I want to get to this point where I can use Inkarnate to make stuff. Like, it looks so cool. And, you know, you want to immerse your players in your world, and these Inkarnate maps are very, very good at doing that. They're so, so nice. I think Inkarnate is my favorite map-making device. There are a few others that I like as well. Dungeon Alchemist. I've made a few maps myself in Dungeon Alchemist, which is like a game you can actually buy on Steam. And it's like a 3D map explorer, which is very, very cool. I can't show the maps yet because my players haven't got there, and again, I don't want to spoil it, but there's some cool maps I've made in Dungeon Alchemist as well. But as far as ease of use and cool looking maps, Inkarnate is my favorite. I think it's absolutely amazing, and I think I'm going to get the paid version and start diving in and trying to improve my map making skills, because it's so, so, so awesome creating a map and then watching your players navigate it and maybe find stuff that you didn't intend, or find stuff that you planted on purpose and stuff. It's beautiful. Again, obviously, you can go simple and just have like walls. You can go advanced and have layers and maps and waterfalls. It's so, so, so awesome. And again, the Explore tab is incredible. I love seeing what people make because they're better than me. But it's awesome being out there, and I really, really like Inkarnate. There is another one I want to show quickly, which is Mythical Maps Infinity. And again, there are a lot of map making devices out there, but these are just two that I found. This is awesome. This generates one for you. So for example, if we want a road, let's say our players are out on an adventure, they're going from one city to the other, and you want a road, you can choose, you know, if the grid tab is dotted. If you want to pay for the Patreon, you can make huge maps and get events and taverns and stuff like that, advanced options, which sound really cool. You click generate map, you wait a couple minutes, and it generates a map for you to use. Look, now there's a path with a broken heart there, and you can use this as a battle map, as an ambush of people coming up bushes and stuff. Wilderness, again, you can generate map, and it will generate a wilderness map. I've used a few taverns from this in my game already. Look, boom, just a nice wilderness area. Again, taverns, you can name it as well. So this is called the Cool Tavern, for example. Again, day or night, full winter, that is a Patreon thing. But even just for the free version, if you need a quick tavern, boom, you have a tavern right there. And then, of course, you can put your thing. This is actually a tavern that I use, the Come and Go, which is one that I use in my Dawn Read. So again, a nice, another little map making tool that you can use just for quick maps on the fly. If you need one quickly, instead of drawing one out yourself, quickly generate one and you're ready to go. To one of my favorites, which is TooManyTokens. Now this is kind of paired up with the next one, but TooManyTokens is incredible. I found this site out and it is so amazing. This is where I got my tokens from, as you can tell. You click on this search bar, ladies and gentlemen, and you get all of this. Look at this. Look how many you can have, ladies. So let's say, for example, we want an elk. You click on elk and you have random tokens of elk. If you want, you get rid of that. You want an Allosaurus. You want dinosaurs in your D&D. You've got an Allosaurus. You can go, my favorite ever creature in D&D, gelatinous cube. You can get a token of different gelatinous cubes. And you can also tick these. So for example, if you want it to be invisible, visible, transparent, you can tick which ones you want. A giant eagle. There's giant eagles. You can get giant apes if you want a big ape. And again, you can customize it, orangutan or gorilla. It's so nice. Grail, I don't even know what that is. It's like a brain. You click download images. It downloads it in a WinRAR packed file. You extract it and it's good to go. And that's why I have them all set up here. Like I have my dragons in dragons and core in core and stuff like that. It's incredible. I love this. You have everything. Gorgons. I mean, there's some that I haven't even seen yet. Githyanki Knight. What else do we have? Ghast, green, I thought that said salad, griffin. TooManyTokens. If you need a quick token, you get a lot right here, and then you can plug them straight into Owlbear Rodeo. It's so seamless and it's awesome. Then we have token stamp. Now if you want to make your own tokens, this is the easiest way. You find an image, you drop it. We'll make one right now. For example, I have an image here that one of my players sent me of their character, and you drag the image in, you resize it how you want, you change the border. He's a mage, so I gave him like blue, like that. Boom, it's ready. You right click, click save image, or you can even click down here, download, and it's good to go. Boom, you've made a token. And again, you can drag in any image you want. That's an RPW superstar from a wrestling show. You drag it in, you resize it, boom, there's a token. Thumbnails as well, like anything you want, you drag it in and boom, you can make a token. It's awesome. If you want to make custom tokens, you can change background color and text color. You can do whatever you want to it, and it's just easy to make tokens. Spoke earlier about adding your own stat blocks into Owlbear Rodeo, and this is what I use for that. Tabletop Almanac is what I use for this. So again, you have stat blocks and spell. You can create, so let's say your player is called Paladin, just for example. You can name him, you write your about, you write how big you are, so we're a large. You can write your alignment, so we're chaotic good. Your initiative bonus might be 2, your challenge rating might be 5, let's say. Proficiency bonus might be 2. And then you can add in your AC, might be 18. Your hit dice, let's say, again, 1d8. Max HP is 33. And you can add in everything. Your skills, your stats, your senses, your money, equipment, items, abilities, etc., etc., etc. And then you click on Save Draft. And once you save it, this is how easy it is to put into Owlbear Rodeo. We're back in Owlbear Rodeo, and for example, all of my PCs have their own personal one. So this guy's called Thorn, for example. Let's say you drag him in and I want to assign him. I assign him. You type in Thorn Mossbloom, which is the one I created. You can see Harry, that's my name. I click on that, and now he's got his stat block. So he has his AC, his skills, ability. I only added a few abilities because he has his own player sheet. It's mainly for his health and AC to save. And his spells and stuff are all right there. And if you want to roll it in-game, you can. For example, his quarterstaff, you can roll to hit, and it rolls in-game live for everyone to see if you hit and stuff. It's so easy, and it's so nice to be able to make your own stat block and add it into the game for your players, for enemies, for creatures, for whatever you want. It's right there for you. You can also create items as well, which is awesome. You can create spells. I've not done this before, but you can create your own spells. If you have homebrew spells and items, you can do that as well, apparently, which I've not done before, but if you want to create, you can, which I think it's really cool. 2 extra websites that I like to use on the fly if I need it. My cities have a lot of shops. I like, my players like to loot a lot of stuff. So one of them is 5e Magic Shop. Now, this is really awesome. You have presets on the right here. So let's say my PC started in Dawnreach, which is like a small city, maybe even a small town. But let's say small city. You click on small city, and it fills out all the information for you. You can do suggestions and change them yourselves. Let's say we want to go to a large city. It changes it. You click Generate Shop, and it gives you all the information of what your PCs might find in the shop. So they have a Giant Slayer short sword, which you can then click on, and it takes you to a Giant Slayer short sword, and you can actually see all the information about the short sword now. And then you can go back. Let's say they have, I don't know, a Scroll of Insect Plague. You click on that, it opens up in a new tab with all the information on that scroll of Insect Plague. I think it's amazing. You can also adjust the pricing. So if you mark it up, you can see it's more expensive. If you mark it down, it's way cheaper. So again, this depends on how much gold your players have, where they are, and how the shopkeeper feels about them. If they try to intimidate shopkeeper but fail, you might bump this up on the fly, and that'll go, well, now it costs 20,000. Or if you persuade them, it might go down. Now it costs 70 gold pieces. And it's just a nice, easy way to have an awesome shop. You can also save them as well. If they go back to the same shop over and over again, you can edit it yourself. A general store, you can go boom, advance, and it's right there. Just a nice little general store your players might find. Nice, easy to use on the fly. I really, really like it. One is a loot generator, which again I have used before and is very nice. So you have adventure rewards by CR. You can choose your challenge rating, random treasure. There's gems, there's party loot, dragon horde loot tables. So for example, if you want random treasure for a challenge rating of 0 to 4, you click roll loot, and it comes up with random loot right there. And you can sort of just roll it a bunch and then choose what your players can see. You can clear the output, roll it. So, if your players are looting a body, you can roll this 3 times. You go, well, you get a potion of growth, a potion of heal giant strength, and again, you can hover over it or click it, and it shows you the information on it as well. So you can roll the loot and go, well, this is what you have, this is what you find. There's party loot as well. So, boom, magic items for level 1 to 4 party. You have a bunch of items there. Dragon horde, you click roll. Depending on, if it's an adult dragon or whatever, boom, you have all of this. Again, easy to use on the fly stuff, especially for dungeon masters, and this is my first ever time gaming. It's so nice if you haven't planned out loot prior, and someone says, oh, I want to loot this horde. What do we get? Quickly open a tab. Well, this is already tabbed. Quickly click on that, roll loot. Okay, you have this. boom. It's nice and easy, nice and simple. And again, it's these little websites that I love just to help you sort of finalize the little things that might help you during a session. But those are the main things that I use for my D&D sessions that really have helped me out in my first 4 sessions with my party. They really like it. I really like it. And again, I've never made D&D content on this channel before, so maybe I'll start. I love fantasy stuff, so maybe we branch out and actually make some D&D content talking about Dungeons & Dragons. If you enjoy that, sort of stuff, feel free to leave a thumbs up on this video by letting me know. Subscribe if you haven't already, and let me know your favorite D&D class that you like to play. There's a fun question for you if you're new to this channel. So there we go. Much as always, take care and happy rolling.